Welcome to the Rise to Learn channel, and today we will talk about Elon Musk's story. Elon Musk. The name itself hits different now. It echoes with the roar of rockets, the silent hum of electric cars, and visions so wild they could only come from a mind like his. But strip away the headlines, the hype, the billions, and you find something else. A brutal, relentless fight. A story of struggle, of risk, of failure that would crush most people. This isn't some polished success story. This is a raw, unfiltered journey through doubt, through collapse, through the kind of resilience that's forged in fire. This is the true story of Elon Musk. His gut-wrenching failures, his dizzying highs and crushing lows, and the sheer, bloody-minded triumph that followed. Born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971, Elon Musk's early life was a battleground. He wasn't playing with other kids, he was devouring books, 2 a day sometimes. Science fiction, philosophy, encyclopedias, he sucked it all in. But that hunger for knowledge, that intense focus, made him an outsider. He was bullied, relentlessly, often physically. He found his escape, his sanctuary, in the digital world. At 12, he taught himself to code, then built a video game called Blaster and sold it for $500. $500 from a kid who taught himself. That's where the fire started. The brutal realities of his youth, a tough home life, a school where he was a target. They didn't break him. They forged him. They hammered into him a resilience, a drive to overcome, an almost pathological determination to prove everyone wrong. Those painful, isolating years weren't wasted. They were the crucible where his extraordinary will was tempered, his vision sharpened. At 17, he cut ties with South Africa, heading to Canada, then eventually the United States. University of Pennsylvania, physics, economics. He wasn't just chasing degrees. He was chasing answers to humanity's biggest questions. But academia couldn't hold him. 2 days into a PhD at Stanford, he walked. Why? Because the internet was exploding, and he saw a chance to make a real, immediate impact. He dove headfirst into the digital Wild West. His first real shot, Zip2, co-founded with his brother Kimball in 1995. Online city guides for newspapers. Sounds quaint now, but back then it was revolutionary. The early days, pure grind. Musk lived in the office, showered at the YMCA, worked until he dropped, often sleeping under his desk. Investors scoffed. Established players laughed. They saw a kid with crazy ideas. But he had a belief, a stubborn, unshakable conviction in his product. And he had the will to make it happen. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for a staggering $307 million cash and $34 million in stock. His first taste of real money, real validation. It wasn't just wealth. It was a brutal education in building a company from nothing, navigating the shark-infested waters of venture capital and corporate deals. Then came X.com, 1999. Online banking, email payments. It merged with Confinity, which had PayPal. And that's when the knives came out. Musk, as CEO, wanted his vision, his platform. The old guard, they wanted PayPal. The board moved. They ousted him, told him he wasn't fit to lead. It was a public humiliation, a gut punch. But he held his shares, kept his influence. And in 2002, PayPal sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Musk walked away with a fortune. But more than that, he walked away with scars, with hard-won lessons about corporate warfare, about leadership, about the brutal truth that even your own creations can turn on you. Getting fired didn't stop him. It just redirected that raw, burning ambition towards something even bigger. With that PayPal money, he could have vanished. Lived a life of luxury, never worked another day. But that wasn't him. He saw the cliff humanity was heading towards. Climate change, a single-planet species vulnerable to extinction. He felt a profound, almost desperate, need to fix it. So he gambled everything, every last cent. He poured his fortune into 2 insane, high-stakes ventures. Tesla Motors, an electric car company that everyone said was doomed, and SpaceX, a rocket startup with the utterly ridiculous goal of making space travel cheap and colonizing Mars. These weren't just businesses. They were crusades, born from a deep, almost messianic conviction that these were the keys to humanity's future. But the path? It was a minefield. Both companies nearly died, again and again, under the crushing weight of pressure and impossible technical hurdles. Tesla. In the beginning, it was a joke. Production nightmares, engineering hell, an automotive industry that sneered at electric cars. Critics lined up to bury it, predicting its inevitable, spectacular failure. The company was on the ropes, teetering on the edge of bankruptcy more times than anyone can count. Financial crises, manufacturing bottlenecks, the sheer, insane cost of building a car company from scratch. Challenging giants like Ford and GM with a battery-powered car? It seemed like a suicide mission. Musk himself threw his last dollars, literally his last dollars, into the company to keep it breathing. And SpaceX? An existential nightmare. 3 rockets, 3 explosions. Falcon 1, boom. Falcon 1, boom. Falcon 1, boom. Millions of dollars gone in fire and smoke. Each failure was a public spectacle, a feast for the doubters, the aerospace old guard, even his own investors. The pressure was unbearable. The company was bleeding cash, its survival hanging by a thread. By 2008, the year of the global financial meltdown, Musk was staring into the abyss. He was nearly broke, having poured every last dollar into these impossible dreams. Everything he had, everything he believed in, seemed on the verge of being lost. It was a testament to the insane, almost reckless personal risk he was willing to take for his beliefs, for the future he saw. But you don't get to be Elon Musk by quitting. His resilience wasn't just a trait. It was a weapon. In a moment that would define his legend, on the 4th attempt, SpaceX finally hit. September 28, 2008. The Falcon 1 rocket punched through the atmosphere, reached orbit. A monumental, impossible achievement. It didn't just save the company. It ripped open a new era of private space exploration. And then, the lifeline, a $1.6 billion contract from NASA to resupply the International Space Station. SpaceX was no longer a joke. It was a player. It was back from the dead. At the same time, Tesla, literally days before Christmas 2008, scraped together vital last-minute funding. The dream of sustainable transport, barely alive, got a second chance. This was Musk at his best. Inspiring belief, rallying the desperate, convincing investors to bet on a future that seemed impossible. From the absolute edge of annihilation, he dragged both companies back. Through sheer force of will, through relentless, brutal problem-solving, through an unshakable belief in his mission. This wasn't just luck. It was a philosophy forged in fire. Failure isn't the end. It's the painful, essential foundation for learning, for adapting, for building the kind of resilience that makes you unstoppable. Setbacks aren't roadblocks. They're stepping stones. True innovation, the kind that changes the world, often rises from the ashes of what everyone else called defeat. After those near-death experiences, Tesla and SpaceX didn't just survive. They exploded. They didn't just transform industries. They redefined them. Tesla started with the Roadster, a high-performance electric sports car that blew apart every stereotype about electric vehicles. Then came the Model S, the Model X, and finally the Model 3, the car that dragged electric vehicles into the mainstream. Electric cars, once a punchline, became a revolution. Tesla didn't just build cars. It built an ecosystem. Battery tech, autonomous driving, a direct-to-consumer model that flipped the automotive world on its head. Traditional car makers? They were forced to play catch-up, scrambling to electrify their own fleets. SpaceX? They didn't just go to space. They broke space. They developed reusable rocket technology, a feat that was literally considered impossible. Rockets landing themselves? Unheard of. But they did it. They slashed launch costs, made access to space cheaper, faster, more frequent. The impossible became routine. Starlink satellites blanketed the globe, Dragon spacecraft ferried cargo and astronauts to the ISS, and the Starship program set its sights on the Moon and Mars. Musk's vision wasn't some distant fantasy anymore. It was real, tangible, happening now. His companies didn't just thrive. They became forces of nature, reshaping entire industries, proving that audacious vision, coupled with relentless execution and a willingness to defy conventional wisdom, could turn the wildest dreams into concrete reality. But even with all that success, the journey was never smooth. Musk remained a lightning rod, attracting intense scrutiny, endless lawsuits, and a constant barrage of criticism. His communication style, especially his unfiltered, often controversial tweets, ignited public firestorms, leading to regulatory battles and PR nightmares. His timelines? Always ambitious, often missed, leading to accusations of overpromising. The production hell of the Model 3 was a legendary period of pure, unadulterated stress. Musk himself was sleeping on the factory floor, driving his teams to the brink, personally overseeing every detail. Many questioned his leadership, his decisions, his relentless, almost manic pursuit of impossible goals, often at the expense of his own well-being and that of his employees. It was a brutal, unforgiving pace. Yet, through it all, Musk never wavered from his core mission: to accelerate humanity's path to a sustainable future and to make us a multiplanetary species. Criticism, no matter how harsh, couldn't stop him. Doubt, no matter how pervasive, couldn't silence his vision. He had an almost superhuman ability to cut through the noise, to focus on the raw engineering and scientific challenges, pushing his teams to achieve what everyone else called impossible. His unwavering commitment, despite the constant external and internal pressures, became his defining characteristic, inspiring both fanatical loyalty and fierce opposition. In recent years, he's pushed into even wilder frontiers. Neuralink, ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces. The goal? To help people with neurological disorders, and eventually to merge human consciousness with AI. Then came the acquisition of Twitter, rebranded as X. Another firestorm. His vision: a global platform for free speech, an everything app. These ventures, like everything he touches, are defined by audacious ambition, monumental risk, and a willingness to smash the status quo. They solidify his reputation as a visionary, a disruptor, a man who simply refuses to play by anyone else's rules. Today, Elon Musk isn't just a name, he's a force of nature. One of the most influential, transformative figures of our time. Tesla isn't just leading the electric vehicle revolution. It's driving it, pushing the boundaries of innovation and sustainable energy across the globe. SpaceX isn't just a player in space. It's the dominant force, launching rockets for NASA, for commercial clients, and relentlessly pursuing the audacious dream of a human colony on Mars. His personal wealth? Astronomical. But his real legacy isn't the billions. It's the profound, undeniable impact he's had on entire industries, his unshakable belief in humanity's potential. He's proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that failure, when met with raw resilience, an unyielding vision, and relentless, brutal execution, isn't an end. It's the most powerful damn catalyst for ultimate success. Elon Musk's life is a compelling, brutal narrative of extreme highs and crushing lows. It's a testament to the raw power of human ambition and sheer, bloody-minded perseverance. From a bullied kid finding solace in books to a billionaire entrepreneur ripping apart and rebuilding multiple industries. From the spectacular, fiery failures of early rocket launches to the routine, almost boring success of reusable rockets. From the absolute brink of financial ruin to global recognition and unprecedented triumph. His journey screams one truth: failure is not the end. It's often the most brutal, yet potent, teacher. Risk is not to be avoided. It's to be embraced, a necessary component of progress and innovation. Resilience is the indispensable, unbreakable bridge between a grand vision and its eventual, hard-won realization. You might not be building rockets or electric cars. You might not be colonizing other planets. But you can forge that same resilience in your own life. You can learn to embrace calculated risks. You can relentlessly pursue your unique vision, no matter how impossible the path seems, no matter how many times you get knocked down. Elon Musk's story isn't just about him. It's a universal, undeniable testament to what's truly possible when we refuse to surrender to adversity when we dare to dream beyond conventional limits, and when we commit ourselves, body and soul, to changing the world. From failure to final, hard-fought success, his extraordinary journey is irrefutable proof that persistence, an unwavering, almost insane vision, and immense, unyielding courage are the forces that can, and indeed do, change the world. This is the Rise to Learn channel signing off.